Alright, today we're going to show you how to make a nice sleeve just like this. It is, let's see here, a little over 1 inch diameter. You can see on the caliper. You need 2 pieces of PVC pipe. This one's a little bit bigger. This will be your outer portion, but more importantly, your inner is going to be just about a little over 1 inch. And the thickness is going to be determined by this one, which is 1.35 inches. So that makes a nice sleeve with a wall diameter, a wall thickness. Let's bring this up. See. 1/8 of an inch or so, let's call it. All right, so all you're going to need, 2 pieces of PVC pipe, a solid surface to mount it on. You got the hot glue gun, and Smooth On EcoFlex double aught 30. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these 2 pieces. There's just a canning lid that I used, and I etched the inner diameter. So I'm going to glue this one down, just like that. All right, you see I got 2 marks up there. I'm going to glue that down on that base, and then I'm going to slide this one over. Get rid of that caliper, and you're going to line up those 2 marks because I sanded them smooth on a sander that I have, so that way I know they're level. So give me a couple seconds, I'll glue this down, and then, well, actually, let's glue the center part down first. Glue gun. Doesn't have to be pretty. Right. That's that one. That's no big deal. Now the second one. So you got your marks. Marks right there. You want to seal this up good, because the silicone is going to want to leak out. Get your gaps pretty good. Glue only takes a couple seconds to seal up, but you see, all you gotta do, a little adjustment right there, right? And what I'm probably going to wind up doing is putting like a little shim in there to keep it, so I get the same gap all the way around. And then, so the silicone, it's about $40 for this whole thing. I don't know how many sleeves I get out of it, but it's not cheap. It's a 2-part. It mixes 1-to-1. So, because I don't want to waste a lot of money, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take some water and fill this up on the outside. Just like that. All the way to the top. Right. And my mixing cup, I'm just going to dump that in there, just like that. That's about how much silicone I'm going to need. So let's, not quite 100, but we'll mix 50 parts. So 50 of this one, and 50 of that one. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, so back at it, how to get a mixing stick. So let's take the one part. Got my measuring cup here. Fill it up to about 50 milliliters. Right about there. So you want to get to 100 because that's what we measured before. Put that in. You got your 50-50 mix. You could weigh it, which is probably a better way to do this. And you're just going to mix this up with a stir stick. You don't have to worry about putting this into a vacuum at all, because the bubbles they'll go away, right? So the past sleeves that I made, those bubbles worked right out. But if you start slower, you won't get as many. But they work themselves out. It takes about a good 4-hour cure time for this to set up. So most of the bubbles do wind up dissipating. All right. So you can see I put a little shim there, and it's pretty even. You can mess around a little bit, but let's start pouring this in there. Don't worry if you dribble around a little bit. It pours in there. And silicone pretty much just sticks to silicone. You could put a release agent on the silicone, the PVC pipes. Makes it a little bit easier to get them apart once this is all cured. But I just force it out with my hands. Sometimes I'll throw it in the hydraulic press at work, but the silicone doesn't tear at all. And so as you can see, there's really no bubbles in there, right? So it's just flowing down. You get a little bit on the side dribbling, but not a big deal. You're gonna have some extra left anyway. One thing that you definitely want to make sure of is that you got this hot glued down pretty good, because if not, it's just gonna all leak out and you'll just wind up keep on filling it up. So yeah, we're still going. Like I said, don't worry about making a mess, because it's not going to stick to anything. Once it cures, it peels right off. Right, let's see. And I don't see any bubbles in this. So I'll just keep on pouring. Oops, get a little aggressive. Would like to get a syringe for this and just inject it in there. Probably make my life a little easier. But keep on going, and this is Actually, yeah, you know something. Let's measure this. How long is this? This is a oh, ran out of space, but that's a 7-inch sleeve right there. So you'll get 2 for hanging for this. And this rubber right here is pretty much the same as the Chinese shit that you guys get off of eBay, but the wall thickness on this makes it far superior than the ones you get. There we go, we're almost full. It's already coming to the top. There you go. That was 100 milliliters. Plus I made a big damn mess. Anyway, like I said, I got the shit on here. Whatever's left in here, once it dries, just peel it out. Reuse that cup. You have a nice sleeve like this. We're gonna let this cure for 4 hours, and we'll take it apart tomorrow. I'll do it at work. This way you guys can see what I do with the press. All right? Thanks for watching. Hope it helps you. Alright, so I got that much out with the press, and takes a little bit. I like throwing a little bit of talcum powder in there. Little talcum powder, yeah, because it still gets sticky. Let me trim that. There you go. I guess that's a little bit of black glue, but that comes right off. Trim this side a little bit. That's a little off, but not too bad, still works.